Yeah, we got liftoff, that's for sure. Here's the thing, the market I told you about last week, we went through the disappointment phase. Now we're going to blast off again. Hey, Courtney Smith here with our weekly video newsletter, TradeSmith, for Monday, January 23rd. And of course, I'm starting to get bulled up again. You see, and I'm bulled up, of course, obviously about everything on this page. Read it, live it, love it. Now, this chart, I believe, is about to take off. Just like the rocket ship on the first slide, I think we're going to see the stock market now start to move sharply higher. And we had the disappointment, profit-taking phase. Now I think we're going to embark on a sustainable but sluggish bull market. And I'm going to be doing a free webinar coming up in a couple of weeks on the outlook for the coming year. But I'm going to give you guys a preview here, and that is that we're going to have a bull market, but a sluggish bull market. Absolutely no chance of a collapse, of a crash. That's not going to happen. No conditions are in place for that at all. So here we have, you can see that the S&P still going sideways. Purple predictor, sideways. Everything's sideways. But normally when a market has had an explosive rally, like we did from the beginning of November to the middle of December, and then we go sideways, this consolidation is usually broken to the upside. And I think that what we're going to do is we're going to start to see actions by the new president that people are going to say, oh, he's actually going to follow through on deregulating. His first day in office, he deregulated and to a certain extent eviscerated Obamacare. But the big thing was the demonstration of deregulation. Now, here's why that's important. You see, regulations don't hurt big companies. They hurt small companies. Dodd-Frank basically ran out of business hundreds of small banks because they couldn't afford the regulatory burden. But J.P. Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, they can afford it. So what we're and jobs are created by small business, not by large business. So one of the big reasons why the stock market had been excited about Trump's victory was this idea of deregulation, lower corporate taxes. So now the reality is going to start to be there. It isn't the promises of Trump, it's going to be the reality of Trump. So the market is very bulled up about the taxes, about regulation. They're very nervous about a possible trade war. So that's one of the reasons why we're not going to see an explosive bull market, because trade wars are bad for business. So there's this tension going on. Domestic businesses are more, small businesses are domestic businesses, and so the deregulation helps them out. The lower taxes helps them out. But trade wars hurt the big multinationals, which are in the S&P 500. Half of the profits of the S&P 500 come from outside the United States. The Dow Jones also heavily weighted to overseas. Now here I talked last week about the crossover of the DI plus and the DI minus. The green line crossed under the red line, and that's a bearish signal. And you can see that the Dow is suffering. Now let's go back. The S&P flat. The Dow Jones down slightly. The NASDAQ up slightly. You see, the NASDAQ is largely domestic-oriented stocks as well. Technology companies that are focused on the United States, yes, there are a few multinationals there, like Apple and Intel, but it's primarily domestic-focused. So you can see we're seeing the market already separating out into winners and losers based on expectations of new fiscal policies. Okay, seasonality, drifting down, a break above that green line at roughly 138, I would be like super bullish again. But we're not there yet. Conversely, if we broke below that 130 red line, I would pull the plug on our seasonality. But right now, still bullish, still have to have larger than normal positions. I we kind of went into this in detail last week. All right, yield curve, went into that. No, I don't need to repeat these things. Hopefully you're watching every week. Now, asset allocation turned back to the upside. So that's a bullish thing for the S&P. Now, I want to stop right here because we had this correction in the gold market, in the dollar, and all these things. And I think that correction's over. And I think we're going back to the major trend, which is bullish for stocks, bearish for bonds. Let's leave gold out, but back to bullish for the dollar. And I guess that means bearish for gold. So let's take a look. I think this is just beginning. That's why I said blast off in our open. Let's take a look at the risk indicator. It's going more towards, this is not a bullish factor. It's going more towards a they're basically saying we're going to run for cover a little bit here. Global shares looking good. Like I say, I'm not involved except in two, Greece and Japan, but there's a lot of other markets that are starting to look pretty good too. Greek market perked up on Friday after suffering a bit in the early part of the week, and Japanese shares are just under their multi-decade highs, some insane thing like that. So these two markets are looking pretty good to me, particularly the Japanese market. Bonds, we've started to dip. So the major bear trend is in force again. And let me show you something remarkable that we haven't seen in a long time. All three of our indicators are suggesting we're going to see higher interest rates, lower bond prices, all three. And that's the first time we've seen that in months. So this is a big, big change. This is calling for higher interest rates, and you can see that we started to move lower, and I think we're going to move lower, continue to move lower, and move to new lows on the bond market. That's a big change over the last several weeks. Dollar has been under pressure. We talked about that. But if interest rates are going to go back up, then I think the dollar is going to turn around. Now, I'm not going to go long the dollar until it breaks that downtrend line. So let's say a break above 102, I'd like to be long the dollar. But until then, I'm going to have to say the correction's still in place. Now, gold has rallied as the dollar has come under pressure. Last 3 days, we've staggered a little bit, but no big deal. But let's take a look at our factors. All bullish for gold. So I don't think that, so this would suggest that we're going to continue to see higher gold prices. Now, with the little dip that we had here, I'd like to see a little bit more of a dip and then buy a resumption of the strength. But I'm not, I want to be long gold. My indicators are now all green, but I don't have a good technical setup, which means I don't have a place that I can put in a protective stop that's tight, that I can just lose a little bit of money if I'm wrong. So for now, I'm going to wait one more week. Let's see how it develops, but I'm bullish on gold. Now, oil, this could be a head and shoulders top. And I've explained my bearish case for oil over the last couple of months, really now. And it's just gone nowhere. And I still don't see it going any higher. I think this is moving into a bear market. All right, freebies, love having you here. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks very much. Fully paid up members, stick with me.
Hey, Courtney Smith here, and I want to tell you about TradeSmith, our video weekly newsletter. Yeah, I've been bringing the hammer to the market for over 45 years, and now I share that expertise with you every week in a terse, to-the-point video newsletter. Now, see, back in the old days, I actually ran the #1 stock newsletter in the United States for 5 years, according to the Hulbert Financial Digest. I crushed the market. I went where the action was, and for 5 years, when I did this newsletter, it was the #1 rated most profitable newsletter there was. There's a picture of it. In addition, I also ran the #1 mutual fund, growth mutual fund in the United States. There it is. There it is. There's Morningstar. Look at that chart. Ooh, that's a beautiful looking chart there. And I was #1. Well, and no losing year in 40 years. I've been doing this for a long time, and I want to share that expertise with you so that you don't have to go through 40 years of experience. Trust me, I've bled a lot in those 40 years, but what that means is I've led a lot, and I've shown tens of thousands of people how to make money in my career. Now, first of all, in this newsletter, we're going to cover the key markets. We're going to talk about the U.S. stock market. We're going to talk about global stock markets. We're going to talk about foreign exchange. We're going to talk about futures, even commodities, oil. We're going to talk about bonds so that this is a one-stop shop. You can come here. You don't need anything else. We're going to use options whenever we have the opportunity to leverage up and turbocharge our profits. We're going to do it. Now, this is totally unique analysis. You think that if I did what everybody else did, I would have those number one track records? Of course not. What I have to do is unique. That's the only way you can beat the competition out there year after year after year. So, deep fundamental analysis. I'm going to talk about this on two levels. First of all, fundamental analysis of the markets, monetary policy, economic policy, trade flows, all of those sorts of things, but on a very, very deep level. I've studied macroeconomics for decades now, and I've been using that analysis for decades. In addition, we look at deep fundamentals of individual stocks when we look at our stock market trades. That is to say, we're going to tear apart these companies. I focus a lot on a few key metrics. One of them, strong earnings growth. In the final analysis, that's the thing that really drives stock prices. Another factor that drives stock prices is when earnings per share estimates are going up. That is to say, when a broker changes their estimate from 10 cents a share to 20 cents a share, they call their clients buy the stock, and the price goes up. So those are the two most powerful techniques that affect the price of a stock. And I'm going to tear that apart and show you why I love these companies. But at the same time, just because it's a great company doesn't mean it's a great stock. We need to be able to time these things and buy them when it's good to buy and sell them when it's good to sell. So I'm going to show you unique technical analysis you can't get anyplace else. It's a combination of a number of indicators. Some of them you might have seen elsewhere, but I use them in a unique way. Others, you've never seen them anyplace else. I'm the inventor of those techniques. But you know what? Even the techniques that I use of other people, I use from people who are friends of mine. Yes, I've been around this market so long that most of the greatest technicians in history have been friends of mine. In addition, I'm going to show you ninja trading tactics. How are we going to get the best fill? How do we enter the orders? Are we going to use stop orders, or are we going to use limit orders or market orders? All of those sorts of things I'm going to give you in our weekly video newsletter. Key benefits of the newsletter. Number one, killer analysis that you're not going to find anyplace else. This is unique. This is unusual. And I have to make it unique. I have to make it unusual because that's the only way I can be number one. By the way, I was voted number one bond and gold market timer for 3 years in a row by Timers Digest. You can only do that when you have unique and killer analysis. Killer trades, because once we've got the analysis, we need to make money from it. We need to turn it into an actionable item, something that we can actually do in the real world. So I'm going to give you killer trades. I'm going to tell you specifically where to buy, specifically where to sell. Nothing is left to the imagination. I'm precise. It's also to the point. I don't want to waste time. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. So no BS, no stories, no jokes, no nothing. Right to the point. Here's what to do. Here's why to do it. And here's how to make money from it. So I'm going to keep it terse. It's about 20 minutes per week, right to the point with all the analysis. I show you the charts right on the screen so you know exactly why I'm doing it. You can double check my work. If I show you an indicator and I say this is what it means, I'll show you the recent past and you can see if it worked recently. Of course, it does. Now, actionable. That's a key thing. so many analysts out there. It's blah, 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 blah. It seems to me that all they want to do is they love the sound of their own voice. They want to sound smart. You know what? I don't care if I sound smart. That's not the point of the exercise. I'm not here to try to impress you. I'm here to help you make money. I'm doing all the same trades that I recommend to you. So trust me, they better be profitable. Easy. Like I say, I'm going to give you the exact entry, exit points. It's going to be super easy. Just type them into your brokerage platform, and there you go. It can't be any easier than that unless I came over to your house and typed in the orders myself. It's only $47 a month. This is a peanut for what you're getting. This is killer analysis, killer trades. This is something where, you got to stop and think of it this way. Can I make $47 more per month if I subscribe to this newsletter, or am I not going to make $47 per month? You know the answer. The answer is, of course, you're going to make at least 47, probably 10 times that, probably 100 times that, probably 1,000 times more than the $47, depending on the size of your account and if you follow all of my trades. So also, I want you to have a lot of free bonuses right up front. As soon as you sign up for the first month, I'm going to give you thousands of dollars of free bonuses. A lot of them are options related because I'm an owner of a company called Options University, and we've got some great education there, from option beginner to pro in just 4 nights. I like using options if I can because they can turbocharge the profitability. They can also be used to cut risk at the same time. That's a pretty awesome combination. So I'm going to give you from options beginner to pro in just 4 nights. Great introductory course for an option beginner. I'm going to give you how to quickly and easily master the top 20 technical indicators, some of which I use, but of course, as I say, I often use them in tricky new ways, and I'll show those to you as well. Retire rich with 10x income. I love this course. Really, isn't that what we all want, is to retire rich? And hey, why retire rich? How about retire rich and early with 10x income? This is an awesome course. You're going to love this course. It's going to get you focused so that you can retire rich. The secret is out with gamma trading. Now, this one's more advanced. I'm not kidding you with this. Gamma trading, I used to be an options market maker in the institutional world. I didn't deal with retail customers, only with banks. And what did we do? We did gamma trading all day long. It's something that's so super sophisticated that very few retail investors ever really understand it. This course gives you the insight into how to do this sophisticated technique. So we started from option beginner at our top bonus. This one, advanced and very super cool. Another one is, I love this. Come on. We're going to give you a new option strategy every month. So what's going to happen is you're going to receive a new option strategy every single month for 12 months, give you a month to master the strategy for the month, and then learn a new one, and then learn a new one. This is a great concept so that you can learn in a relaxed fashion. Gotta love it. I'm also going to give you 82-page manual on candlestick secrets. This is a particular style of trading, using, instead of bar charts, using candlesticks. What's cool is it's got flashcards. It's really very cool because you actually get to learn just like you did when you were a kid. So it makes it super easy. You can be studying while you're sitting there on the subway or whatever, looking through those flashcards, the tutorials, the manual. It's awesome. And then finally, a very secretive part of the universe, foreign exchange options trading, where we combine foreign exchange trading with options trading, profiting from the 2 hottest markets. So I'm giving you 7 bonuses here. The value, if you were to go and buy those, go to optionsuniversity.com, check them out. You'll see the price is just under $2,200. So when you sign up for just $47 a month, I'm going to give you these 7 bonuses right away. You're going to be able to access them right away. So let's repeat. You get the weekly video briefing with actionable advice. You get the 7 valuable bonuses, and all for just $1.56 a day. Come on. Really? You don't think it's worth less than $1.56 a day? Come on, man. You can't get a Starbucks coffee for $1.56, but you can get one of the best video newsletters ever. In fact, I believe it's the first video newsletter ever. But you're getting the same insights and the same techniques that I used to build that incredible track record of being the highest performing, most profitable newsletter for 5 straight years, all for $1.56 a day. This is a peanut. So what do you got to do? It's simple. You go to bit.ly/weekly market forecast, and yes, the W and the M and the F have to be capitalized, but go to bit.ly/weekly market forecast right now to subscribe, get involved, full money back guarantee, of course. Do it right now. You're going to really enjoy it. I'm not allowed to promise you that you'll make money. The SEC, the FTC, they'll come down on me like a ton of bricks. But I know what my track record is. I think as long as you follow the advice, I think you're going to be very happy. I'm allowed to say you're going to be happy. I'm not allowed to say you'll make money or they'll come down on me like a ton of bricks. We don't like that. So here's what I need you to do. Go to bit.ly/weekly market forecast with the capital W, M, and F right now. Go there right now. Check it out. Sign out. Full money back guarantee. Get all the bonuses. Try it for a month. I know you're going to love it. Thanks very much, and I'll see you on TradeSmith. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.